Hey everybody, I thought I would make a short video explaining four of the things that I wish I had known when I was a recreational player. The first piece of advice I would give myself is stop thinking about hero calls on the river in terms of game theory optimal. So the first reason why I would say this is that I didn't have a very strong understanding of what was actually game theory optimal. In fact, even though I know a lot more about poker now, I still often don't quite understand the spot in terms of GTO principles. And as a result of that, I would end up making rationalizations towards a hero call because I'm a station. So things like I'm at the top of my range, so I have to call, or I have good blockers, so I should call, or I'm getting good pot odds, so I need to call a lot, and so maybe this hand is a call. These kinds of things were excuses to make a call because I was afraid to get bluffed. Instead, I would make calls in terms of how much equity I think my hand has versus his real range. So the best way to do that is to study with Equilab. Think about all of the actual hands it is logical for them to have in that spot, and if you can't think of any bluffs, you should honestly probably fold, even if you're at the top of your range. Number two, I was thinking too much about combos when I was bluffing, but I was forgetting about frequencies. So I would get to the river and say, I don't have any diamonds and diamonds missed, so this is a good hand to bluff. Or, I have a fairly weak hand on the flop and some weak hands to check raise, so I'm going to check raise this hand. What I was missing is that I think even more important than the hands you choose is the frequency at which you do certain actions, right? So if you bluff half the time, right, then the player is getting odds to call down with any bluff catcher. Instead, you want to bluff at a frequency that is proportional to your value bets. That is much more important and fundamental to good play. The combos, the blockers, those come into play once people's frequencies are really locked down. Number three would be betting too frequently. So I would bet a lot because poker is scary and I was uncomfortable. I would block bet because I didn't want to face a big bluff on the river. I would bet thin for value as a shove on the river because I was afraid to have to hero call. And I would just bet too frequently with air because I just thought people fold a lot and, I'd rather bet than give up the pot. The reality is that poker is a symmetrical game. So everyone's going to be in the same spot over time. And because it's a symmetrical game, you're going to have range advantage half the time and range disadvantage half the time. You're going to be checking roughly half the time, averaged across all spots in the game. If you're not doing that, then you're not playing balanced poker. And checking is just a way more powerful and reasonable option than I gave myself credit for. So learn how to check, understand that facing pressure is just part of the game, and it's okay to check and face pressure. When you make close decisions correctly, that's where the big money in poker is made. It's not made when you have an easy decision. Fourth piece of advice I would give, and maybe the most important piece of advice, is seek personalized help. Develop a relationship with a person. This could be by paying for coaching. This could be by joining a Discord server with other players at your level or slightly higher than your level. This could be by joining a CFP or a stable where you give people a cut of your profits in exchange for coaching. There are all kinds of different ways to do it. But if you have ever been in a good class, say in high school or university, and you've ever compared that to taking an online class in high school or university, I think you can probably agree that you learned more by having a relationship with the teacher and being able to ask them questions in person than just sort of casually, passively watching videos during a course. I think that the training material out there is really good. I think that it's great that people can watch videos on Run It Once and Upswing Poker and so on, but I just don't think there is any real comparison to being able to bring your personalized, individualized questions to another human being and actually talk about it with them. So at least for me, I watched a ton of videos. I didn't really get better. And I got better much faster once I had developed relationships with coaches and with people who were playing the same stakes as me. So yeah, get help. All right, so those are my four pieces of advice for when I was a recreational player about 2 years ago, and I hope it's helpful for some of you. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.